Hey, everybody, welcome back. This has been a wild ride with college football. I'm sure you guys would all agree. Um, so, listen, welcome to Talking College Football with Luke. I'm Luke. Over there on my look, Dan, raise your hand. That's Dan. Okay. That's Anwar. Raise your hand. So, everybody knows who we are. Follow us on Instagram at Talking College Football. Please note that it's at _ Talking College Football _. You can see our Instagram post where we put up our shorts. And if you want, you can fill out anything there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our channel. Guys, it's been a wild week. Any
As
comments
always.
before we get started?
Well, I've already mentioned this to you guys before, but man, I gotta apologize. We're not gonna talk about last week's games really on this show, but I made a bold prediction saying that LSU was gonna upset Texas A&M, and also I made a prediction that Texas A&M was not a good team. And after watching them for maybe only the second time this year, I was wrong. We'll get onto them later. So, yeah, I just gotta start off the show by apologizing for the many things I've been wrong about on my predictions. But
You're an analyst. You're supposed to be bold, and
Yeah,
you
I
give
mean, coaching
strong
carousel
opinions.
just got a little hotter.
You
yeah,
can't
We're
backtrack.
gonna see how that ends up
Dan, how
in the
about you?
offseason,
Anything?
but you're gonna see some new faces and new places.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit later about that coaching carousel. Let's talk about what the best job is out there, okay? All right. Today's show. Um, well, first off, let's start like this way. You know, Miss Renata Barber, she always says to us, she follows us every week, right? And she says, if we're going to have a party of our best friends over, then we need to use what she prepares. So this week, with football in mind, she provided us with fried hot dogs. All right. So let's take a quick look. Then you guys, if you're
Mhm.
going to host a party of your best friends over to watch the football game, maybe you'll try this. Okay. All right. So let's take a quick look and see what she's got.
Old school budget style. First, we're going to slice that hot dog in half. Next, we're going to open and lay it flat. Heat the butter in a pan and then slide your hot dog over. Lay it out open side down. Now, for you OGs, bologna works just the same. All right, while the hot dogs are cooking, you're going to go ahead and prep your toppings. You know what I do like? I do like the grill marks. I love me some good grill marks. Go ahead and toast that bread. Claudine, 1974 style. That was before James Earl Jones found that toaster. Okay? Now, go ahead, when the hot dogs are finished, go ahead and top it. And if you've ever cooked your hot dogs like this, and I know many of you have, go ahead and leave a comment. Hit that like button. And I'll see you next video. Enjoy.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I can
yeah,
I like
relate
the
to that
toppings for
for a
that one.
football game.
I could
Dan,
rock with this week.
I might use a bun
I
though.
might
Dan,
have
what
to
about
try
you?
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. That's what I was thinking too. I mean, if I'm going to have a hot dog, I want a bun. And in Chicago, it's only mustard. So we don't put anything else on it but mustard, some sport peppers, maybe some onions, a little relish, then we're good to go here in Chicago. Anyway. Thanks, Miss
Bean and
Renee the
chili.
Barber. We
Bean and
appreciate
chili.
it. Keep sending it us, man. But you know what? Hey, I'm going to make a special request for you right now. Ohio State's going to play Michigan November 29th, right after Thanksgiving. This is what I want to see you make. I want to see some Buckeye eyes. Buckeye
Those are
eyes.
good.
So can you make those for us? All right.
Those
Special
are very
request from us.
little chocolate, a little peanut butter. Amazing.
Hey man, that's good eating. That's good eating. All right. So this is kind of a special edition because next week, college football first brackets come out, right? So let's get ahead of the game. Our rankings are going to reflect that. But let's talk about the teams. We're going to break it down by conference. So you, as our fans or people who follow our show, you know where we stand and where your favorite team and your favorite conference stands. So we're going to start off, and remember, 12 teams this year, and they're going to be seeded. So let's take a closer look, and we'll start off in the South, where they say it just means more, the SEC. Guys, you want me to lead, or you guys want to go with the SEC? How do you want to do this? Let me just say this, if you don't mind. Right now, if you were to look at the polls,
Something like that.
what do they have? Like 5 or 6 teams in the top 25? It's a big number.
Yeah. I feel like the SEC, last year the Big Ten had 4 teams and the SEC had 3. I feel like this is a year where there could be 4 SEC teams. Hopefully there's not 5, but I think that some of the stuff in that conference will get played out. There's still a lot of big games coming up in that conference. So I think things will settle down so we can move on to the end of the season. But right now, I could see SEC having 4 teams in.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think
I don't
that
think
they have at least 4, either
they'll
4 or
have more
5.
than 3 this year.
So definitely more than last
Oh.
year.
Guys, I need to push back. I don't see them getting more than 3 in. But let's finish this. Let's break this thing down. And the reason why is, look how good the ACC is this year. Look how good the Big Ten is this year. Look how good the Big 12 is this year. You've got Notre Dame and somebody from the group of 6. It's going to be
Right.
tough, I believe, for them to get more than 3 teams in.
How many teams do you think the Big Ten, okay, let's go. How many teams from each conference do you think will get in as of right now?
Well, I went through this, and I don't know if this is too early or if this should be the summary, but I see 3 from the SEC. I see 3 from the ACC.
3
I
from
see
the AC?
3 from the Big 10, 2 from the Big 12, and 1 from the group of 5.
So no Notre
That's
Dame.
how I
No
that's
Notre
how I
Dame
see
for
it.
you. No
Huh?
Notre Dame. No Notre Dame for you.
I can't see a 10-2 Notre Dame team getting in, with losses to Miami and to Texas A&M,
Yeah.
simply because the ACC this year is so balanced at the top. I mean, let's go. We're getting way ahead of ourselves. Let's finish with the SEC. Let's talk about where they are. Okay. So who's in from the
Let's see.
SEC on you
I'll go
guys part?
first.
Who would you say are the
Obviously,
3
we
to
talked
4
about them a
teams
little
that are
bit.
going to be in there?
Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, and then I'm kind of debating if Vanderbilt should be in there
Okay.
right now. They're kind of right on the bubble for me. But I could also see Tennessee making a run and making it, or maybe Mizzou. I don't think so, but I think those 2 are still alive. Oh, yeah, another one. Yeah, that one I would probably put above Vanderbilt for it.
What about
So
Ole Miss? You
A&M,
didn't mention
Bama,
them.
Georgia, Ole Miss, and then maybe Vanderbilt too.
All right. So
Okay.
Anwar, and then I'm
Yeah.
going to give you some little feedback that I'd like to share on that.
So for the SEC, I've got Texas A&M, I've got Alabama. So here's one team that, I still think is very in the balance, but I right now still not sure if Georgia's going to get in. They still got some tough games coming up on that schedule. They still play Florida next week. They play Texas, and at the end of the season, they've got a red hot Georgia Tech team that they've got to play. So there's still a lot of chances for Georgia to lose. So I would say their season's not over. Like they still got some tough games left. If you look at Ole Miss's schedule, I think they're in. And then this Vanderbilt team, like they still got to play Tennessee at the end of the year. Tennessee's sitting there with only 2 losses right now. I feel like a lot of the Tennessee making the playoffs chatter kind of ended with their loss to Alabama. But, they're still in that running. There's still, like, a few outsider teams in the SEC, like, Tennessee, um, Mizzou, but after that loss, I mean, they've still got, they still got Oklahoma on the schedule. So, let's see who Mizzou still has on the schedule. I'm checking right now. They
Well,
still got they got Texas A&M and Oklahoma. Yeah, I don't think Mizzou is getting in.
and plus
So
Bo Probola,
for
the broken foot, right?
Yeah. So my SEC teams, for right now, I'm gonna leave Georgia out because I think they lose another game.
Wait a
Me
minute.
personally, I think they lose another game. So right now, I've got
So even if
Texas
they
A&M.
lose another game, they're 10-2.
I think they can lose 2 games. They've still got Texas, Florida, and Georgia Tech. They still got Texas,
I don't
Florida,
know.
and Georgia Tech left on that schedule.
I don't think they're going to lose 2 more games. I think
Dan,
that Georgia's pretty
what do
firmly
you
in there.
think? What
But
he
I
just
mean,
said.
I guess you could make an argument that they don't have the strongest schedule. If you look back at it, they're another team that's some of the teams they've beat have been going down and down and down, so they don't look as impressive by comparison. But I don't know. I can't see less than 4 teams getting in. A&M, Bama,
So
Yeah.
Dan,
A&M, Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss, and then Vandy's
who are
pretty
your
close.
4 that
So
you see
we're
from
gonna
the
have to see how the rest
SEC?
of the season plays out for them.
But see, like Vandy, so you think
I think Vandy.
Vandy and Tennessee at the end of the season, who do you got in that game? Yep. All right, so if Vandy beats Tennessee, they're probably in. But like I'm saying, we just said that we think 4 SEC teams are going to get in, which means that one of those teams have got to get eliminated. And I think out of those teams, Georgia still has the toughest road. Which I don't. First of all, I think Georgia will get in. Actually, if you ask me, like right now, I would say Georgia gets in. But we just said 4 teams for the SEC, and that means somebody's gonna go. I don't think Texas A&M is losing. I think Bama is probably one of the hottest teams in the country, even though they look kind of bad last week. So you got to eliminate one team, and just looking at the rest of the schedules, I think Georgia's got the toughest road. But honestly, it'll probably be Vanderbilt because it's just Vanderbilt. But I don't think Ole Miss is losing again. Just I don't think they're getting 5 in, so one's got to get eliminated.
We'll come back to this, okay? I'm looking at this right now. I'm looking at the AP, right? And I see A&M, Alabama, and Georgia. Georgia's got 1 loss. Mississippi has 1. Vanderbilt has 1. And Tennessee has 2. Missouri has 2. Texas has 1.
Yeah.
Texas is
Texas,
still alive. It's still alive. Yeah, remember, if you win the conference, you're in, right?
right? But Texas is. Let's be honest, Texas is not looking great. They had a miracle win last week. Did not look great, but they just keep finding a way to win. They just beat Mississippi State and Kentucky overtime. So
Okay. So who's their biggest rival? Texas.
Oklahoma.
Who's their big? Okay, who's their second? Well, okay, I need to rephrase that question on Texas. Other than Oklahoma, who's their biggest rival?
Texas A&M.
Who do they play the last game of the season?
Yeah, Texas A&M and Texas A&M will win that game. Based on what I saw yesterday, I think Texas A&M wins that game.
Well, I mean, I just love the rivalries. Like
Dan, you look like you want to say something. I want to draw you in
but
on
I
this.
thought that Oklahoma was going to win the game against Texas, especially with John Mateer coming back. So a few more weeks of getting healthy, like kind of still playing. I don't know. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think even if Texas won the game, they're not getting in. I think that their losses are bad enough and their wins are not big enough. Like we just talked about the 2 overtime games. I think if they went out, so not in.
Yeah,
Well,
right now, what's Texas' best win is Oklahoma, and their 2 losses are to like a number 1 Ohio State,
Mhm.
but then a bad Florida team. So that one loss does look really bad for them.
yeah, but see,
But
they still have a path to win the SEC.
they do. We're not saying they don't have a path. They definitely have a path. I don't think that they're gonna go on that path. Basically, they're going off the road. But
Right.
they do have a path. Like all those teams you mentioned still have a path. That's the
Yeah.
thing. They do have,
Well, that's
yeah.
the whole
And
thing.
Georgia, yeah.
Let's see.
But you gotta eliminate one of these teams. And I said Georgia, and I'm just like spitballing. Like really, I think it's gonna be Vanderbilt because I think Vanderbilt could lose to Tennessee at the end of the year. But I think Georgia overall has the toughest schedule out of those teams remaining of the year, which is
Okay.
why I said
So we're
thinking
we're
about
all
luck.
going to beg. I'm going to beg to differ with you guys. I don't see 4 SEC teams. I see 3. The only 3 I see Tamu, Bama, and them dogs. That's all I see. I don't see Ole Miss getting in. I don't see Vandy getting in. Certainly not Mizzou or Texas
Yeah, I
or
mean,
Oklahoma. Who else is still alive? I mean, I
yeah.
see none of those other
So,
teams getting in.
are you gonna leave out a one-loss Ole Miss?
Are they only? What's their best win? LSU? Or no, their best win was this weekend. Who'd they play?
They played Oklahoma. Listen, Ole Miss's remaining schedule is South Carolina, Citadel, Florida, and Mississippi State. Like Florida,
Rivalry game.
maybe, but
All right.
we can all agree that the last week of the
Yeah.
season, week 12, is gonna be amazing this year. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's move down to um let's talk about Notre Dame. Okay. And the reason why we
USC.
have to talk about Notre Dame is who have they played?
I think
Okay.
if I think
Where's USC
yeah,
in the
23.
rankings? In the AP poll? They're 23. That is their signature win.
Yeah.
Then who have they
Okay.
lost to?
They
Combined
lost to
score
2
of
top
4.
10 teams, to be fair, and close to 2 top 10 teams. Yeah, and really, if you watch that Notre Dame Texas A&M game, which is actually my favorite game of the year so far, I think that was the most fun. That was the best game of the year. Notre Dame should have won that game. Really, they should have. I don't know how they
Yeah.
let that game get away, but I think Notre Dame is like kind of an improving team. They've kind of gotten better with that new quarterback, Cheesehead Carr. The defense has gotten a lot better since those first 2 games. I think Notre Dame is definitely a top 12 team in the country, definitely top
Oh,
10 team in the country. But
okay.
that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because, like you said, really no good wins outside of USC. So it doesn't matter if you're one of the top 12 teams in the country. Like if you would beat a team outside, like it's about what happened in the season, and they did lose those games. We're saying they're good losses, which they are
I don't
good
know. I
losses,
think the end of the
but they
schedule is
still
actually
lost
looking
at
a
the end
little
of the
better
day.
for Notre Dame too.
Okay.
Like
Notre
I
Dame boy,
pulled it
what
up
you
right
got to
here.
say?
We have Boston College that's not going to help at all. But then Navy may be ranked by the time they play. You have Pitt, who's looking a lot better. Chance. No disrespect.
Aren't they? Navy's not ranked now?
Yep.
I'm surprised Nate's not ranked
But
now.
yeah, I mean,
Oh,
no, it's okay.
they're undefeated and they're
I
not
don't know.
ranked. Okay, Navy. Go ahead.
I mean, they beat the brakes
I'm
off of
sorry, Dan.
Arkansas, who's given some good SEC teams some tough games this year. They beat Boise State, who's group of 5, but yeah, and not as strong as usual. But they could end up. They're still alive in the playoff too.
Better group of 5.
All right.
They're still alive. They're still alive. Yep.
Well, but see, here's the one thing I think that you guys are forgetting. But I think their strength of record and their strength of schedule is only the best they could do is like a top 15 in terms of strength of record, strength of schedule. When I was just looking at the stats, here's the one thing that you guys are leaving out. You know there has to be a Big Ten champ there, and you get a data point for that extra game, win or lose, correct? You get a data point for the SEC championship, win or lose. You get a data point for the Big 12 championship, win or lose. We saw that last year in the ACC. You get a data point for the ACC, win or lose, right? Notre Dame, as an independent, does not have that additional data point. I don't see
I don't know.
Notre Dame at 10-2 getting in. Period.
Well, before you said that you thought
Yeah.
they were going to be, you say 3 ACC teams?
With that, yeah. Go ahead, Dan.
I don't think there's going to be more than 2, and they may be just 1. I think that they're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I agree with Dan. I was about to say the same thing.
All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about the ACC. Okay, since you brought that up, I know I hadn't. So let's look at right now. They've got in the top. They've got Georgia Tech, Miami, Virginia, Louisville, and even Pitt at 6-2 are all in the mix. Right. All it takes is for one of those teams that you don't think is going to win, because we saw it last year with Clemson and SMU getting in. Right now, you got an undefeated Georgia Tech. If they take care of business and they win out, they're in. What happens if they lose to Georgia, though? Then the matrix changes, because Miami's probably going to win out. Virginia has the one loss. They're lucky,
But
right? They're lucky.
funny thing about Virginia, though, their loss isn't a conference loss. Even though it was a conference opponent, it was a non-conference game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're undefeated in conference right now.
So that affects who gets in, right? Because they're undefeated in the conference.
Right.
And then you still got Louisville out there who beat Miami. So you got 4 teams that could be deserving to get in from the ACC. So am I going to leave out? So let's go through this. Am I going to leave out 11-1 Miami? Would I leave out an undefeated Georgia Tech? Would I leave out a 11-1 Virginia or an 11-1 Louisville?
If we're predicting what's going to happen,
you could probably live out of.
Yeah,
you probably could. You probably could. But what's Virginia's good win? What's Virginia's good win?
I
right
think
now?
that the committee will disrespect them.
11-1. 11-1.
And 11-1, but let's say they make the conference championship at 11-1.
Okay.
And they lose to Miami, then they're 11-2. They're not getting in.
Okay.
I think
so what about Louisville?
Yeah.
What about Louisville? 11-1 Louisville.
I mean,
do you leave them out?
The way I'm looking at it, I think that the conference championship is going to be Georgia Tech versus Virginia. The loser of that is out.
Really?
I think it's going to be the winner, and then Miami's going to get carried by their name and their history. The committee's not going to respect the ACC.
Yeah, like I said, the loser of the ACC is not getting in. But right now, Miami's not in line for the ACC championship, but they're 3rd. So that means that Georgia Tech versus who's the other team?
Louisville and Virginia.
Virginia.
There's Pitt also. Pitt's still alive.
Their schedule.
But we're going to discard Pitt.
Win out. Do you guys think Virginia's good enough to win out?
All right, so what if Louisville plays Georgia Tech in the ACC? Now, they beat Miami, but we're already saying Miami's in regardless, right?
Yeah, it was the name.
All right. So do you guys see where I'm going with this? You're going to get so based off what we're talking about right now, you've got Georgia Tech, Miami, and Louisville that would be in from the ACC. That directly is going to impact the SEC. Because now you're not going to get 4 to 5 teams in from the SEC if it plays out that way. I'm just
I
saying, this is
think
conversation,
more.
right?
I think more than the SEC, I think this affects Notre Dame. Because if the ACC somehow does get 3 teams in, that means Notre Dame's gone. Like I think,
Yeah.
like for Dan's sake, you gotta hope for not even chaos. You just need to hope that Virginia loses a game. Because if Virginia loses one more game, as I don't think Virginia is the best team in the ACC. They'll probably lose the ACC championship. So Virginia loses one game, they're gone. Louisville loses one more game, they're gone. And then you've got just the winner of the ACC, which could be Georgia Tech or Miami. But right now Miami's not in, so we're not saying it. But say they play a Louisville team or something, and Georgia Tech beats Louisville in the ACC championship. Louisville's gone.
Yeah,
Miami's
I
in. 2 teams in the ACC.
yeah, I don't know.
Notre
If
Dame still
Miami
has a
somehow
chance.
makes it into the championship game and beats
Wait a minute.
them, beats
I
Georgia
might,
Tech, I could see Georgia Tech being disrespected, and Miami's the only one. I just think that the grade doesn't beat the ACC very highly.
oh,
Well, okay, at that point, Georgia Tech would have beaten Georgia, though. In this scenario that you just said, where you said that Georgia Tech's going to be in that ACC championship game, which means do you think like they beat Georgia? Was if they beat
Yeah,
well,
Georgia's
they're
not
in.
a
I think
conference,
they're
so they
in
should
regardless if they
they
beat
should be undefeated
Georgia
in the conference.
or lose to Georgia.
But I'm looking at Virginia's schedule right now. They only have Wake Forest, Duke, and Virginia Tech
Yeah.
left.
But I'm saying,
Oh, and Cal. Duke's a good team, but nothing really that tough in that schedule. Yeah, did they just lose?
I think Cal's a good team this year, right?
Cal's all right.
Let's see.
Yeah. So they're what are they 6-3,
Yeah.
something like that.
But did you guys see what Virginia did this weekend? They barely beat a bad North Carolina team. A bad North Carolina team.
But the operative word is this: they beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're 6-1. Are they 6-1 or 7-1? 7-1. Yeah.
7-1.
All right. So let's go to the next conference. Let's talk Big 12, okay? Because this is where it gets interesting. Big 12.
You know, it's funny enough.
another team that you dogged had a big win over the weekend. That was BYU.
Yeah, I've had a lot of wrong things. I was wrong. First of all, I'm still not sure about BYU. I am sure Texas A&M actually is a good team. That was wrong. BYU. See, from what I saw from that BYU Utah game, I'm just like I came away from that game not really impressed with BYU. But then I looked at their quarterback stats, and the bro's cooking. Like,
Yeah, what's his name? Brockmeyer? Huh?
Bachmeier.
Number 47, right?
47 linebacker number.
Okay. They were down by 2 touchdowns and they came back and they beat Iowa State, who I said at the beginning of the season, I thought Iowa State would win the Big 12. So, mea culpa, I'm saying I was wrong on them, but I was wrong because of injury, not because of Matt Campbell's coaching or the team wasn't up to it. I mean, they've had a lot of injuries, of injuries.
Yeah.
So you got BYU, right? Who else?
Cincinnati.
Their one loss is the first loss of the season to Nebraska, who's a pretty good team. Let's not act like they're not. So Cincinnati's still big time.
Yeah.
Guys, what about Texas Tech? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you got Cincinnati, Texas Tech, and BYU, and Houston. Texas
Tech gets
4
their
teams.
quarterback back next week. Texas
Huh?
Tech gets their starter back next week.
All right. So right now, so far, if we're keeping track, I'm going to go back to what I said. I'm not trying to win the argument with you guys, but I'm going to go back to what I said. I only see 3 SEC teams right now because we're talking 3 ACCs. We're talking 2 Big 12s so far. We're
I
not
still don't
talking
agree.
SEC yet.
I still
So,
don't agree with the ACC.
well, hold
but-
on. If the ACC pulls off 3, Miami, Louisville, Georgia Tech, and now we know if it's BYU, Texas Tech is probably going to get in there, right? So that's 2. That's 5 of the
BYU
12
and
spots.
yeah, BYU and
Let's move
Texas
to the
Tech play
next
each other in a
conference.
couple weeks
Let's talk about the Big
on
10.
November 8th.
Oh,
I
I'm
think that'll
sorry.
be a big. Obviously, it's a big game. And then they could just. I mean,
Okay.
if Texas Tech beats BYU, well, yeah.
If
I mean, I
BYU
think if
beat-
Texas Tech
If
loses, they're
BYU
out,
beats the
and they
he's
won't even
out.
be in the running for their conference championship. But if they win, then they could just be 2 teams with 1 loss that face against each other again in the conference championship, and then maybe. Yeah, but then they would be the only ones to get in. I don't see. I mean, I think there's gonna be 2 max
And
for the
both
Big
would get
12,
in.
and it could be 1.
I see
so-
2 from the Big 12.
But so you guys think that if the situation that Dan just said happens, whereas BYU, Texas Tech in that championship, do they leave a 1-loss non-conference game appearance Cincinnati out?
See, there you go. There you go. So if Cincinnati's 11-1, I haven't looked at their schedule to see if they can go 11-1. But if they do, so now you've got in your scenario, Dan, that you just laid out, a Texas Tech win over BYU, 11-1 BYU, 11-1 Texas Tech, 11-1 Cincinnati.
Guess who Cincinnati's got left on the schedule? They play BYU as well. So BYU has some tough games coming up.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
let's say, okay, so let's go Cincinnati, Texas Tech in the conference championship. Potentially. That's still
Yeah,
2
true.
ACC Big 12 teams getting in, correct?
Yeah, just the two. Just the two.
All right. So we got 2. All right, let's move to the next conference because this is how all this stuff gets set up. The next conference we got is the Big 10, right? So the
Yeah.
Big 10,
I think this is the easiest
3,
one,
yep.
actually. I think the Big Ten is the easiest one.
how many
to
teams?
look-
How many teams?
3,
And they are?
and it's Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're saying that USC, Michigan, Iowa, and Nebraska have no shot.
Well, Michigan plays Ohio State at the end of the year. Ohio State's still getting in the Big Ten championship with the 1 loss. Even if they lose to Michigan, like what we've been seeing, they're still in. I think Ohio State, like really the only game Ohio State needs to worry about is Michigan. Even if they lose, they're still in. Indiana, they're
I don't
winning
want
out.
to skip over Penn State this week. I'm going to be coming up this weekend. And here's the reason why. Penn State could say everything is all right in the world if we can knock off the Buckeyes. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but let's not overlook them, okay?
Yeah. Who's Iowa? Iowa got left. Oh,
I mean,
Iowa's
Iowa's
still
still
got
a long.
Yeah, Iowa's not making it in. Iowa's getting a couple more losses. They got USC and Oregon left. I think if Ohio State beats Michigan, they're gone. USC, they still got a tough road. Yeah, I think really the Big Ten is the easiest. I think it's Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, and I think it's
So you're just
simple.
saying 3 from the Big Ten is what we're saying.
Yeah,
So
just looking at the
we've
rest of the
said,
schedule.
so we said 2 from the Big 12, we said 3 from the ACC, and we said 3 from the Big 10. That's 8 teams right there. Right? Is the
I still
math
don't think
correct?
3 for the ACC.
Guys, the math says 3 from the ACC. The records say 3 from the ACC. All right, so go with me on this because now you have to put a group of 6 team in there.
Mhm.
That's 9 teams right there. Right?
Right.
So tell me, if we've got 9 teams, how does the SEC get
It's
4
just
teams in? We only take 12, not 13.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they get 4 because the ACC not getting 3. But
But the math and the records,
that's it.
strength of schedule, all of that stuff has to be considered.
right.
That's why Notre Dame is not in this conversation. They're not going to have a conference championship, and they're not going to have the strength of schedule or strength of record. And you could look, if you pull up ESPN's FPI and where they put down strength of record and strength of schedule, remember, it was the SEC who wanted strength of record included so that they would go to 9 games. Next year, it'll make a difference. This year, it won't.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Man, it's kind of one of these things with these brand name teams once again. And it's like we're talking about this with Miami, and we're talking about this with Notre Dame. I do feel like those teams have a leg up on your Virginias, your Louisvilles. I think the brand, like, as much as we don't want to admit it, these brand name things do have somewhat of a deal to things. Like, I think that Miami, with the one loss, like non-ACC championship appearance, they still get in. But like for a Louisville or whatever, if they're not in the
Louisville
ACC
beat
championship,
Miami.
still,
So
and
if
that's still,
Louisville plays Georgia Tech for the championship, how are you
and
going to
Louisville,
leave out an 11-1 Georgia Tech? Because that means they beat Georgia, right? And then Louisville beats them in the championship. So at that point, Louisville's in, Georgia Tech is in, and you just said, you're out of your own words, Miami's in. That's
Yeah, and
3
that's the only
ACC
scenario
teams.
where I
yeah, but
think
I
they
don't
get
think
3
in
in
that
and
case, I
still.
don't think the loser of the ACC championship will get in.
Oh,
The loser's not getting in. If it's those teams, the
so
loser's not.
let's take a little bit of revisionist history. Last year, using what you just said, Clemson beats SMU in the ACC championship. Clemson gets in. Didn't SMU get in as well?
Yeah, but SMU was undefeated. That's the thing. All these teams have one loss.
But
SMU
we're
was
talking
undefeated.
about a Georgia Tech team that's undefeated losing in the ACC. That's the
But,
same scenario. Last
but
year they
we
set a precedent. They are
Yeah.
not kicking out a team that had to play that extra game in a conference championship with a loss. We are not kicking them out of the playoffs because they're good enough to get there and into their conference championship, which is big for the committee. We're not kicking them out. So you right off the bat, you can almost say I've got 8 teams committed
I think that
by
first
making to a conference championship.
I
Everybody's
think of
giving
the
me these
scenario that you
blank
laid out.
stares like I'm crazy. I don't think I
I think your
am.
scenario is the only one where the ACC
but
gets 3
that's
I
teams.
know I'm not
And
crazy.
even then, like, who knows?
Huh?
Maybe Georgia Tech goes in there 11-1, and then because they had a loss against Georgia, I'm assuming that. I think, say Georgia Tech beats Georgia, Georgia's probably out then. Yeah, but I don't know.
No, that means Georgia is 10-2. And so who's gonna say they have a better strength of record than Georgia at 10-2?
Yeah,
Notre Dame? I don't think so. We just said
I
their
don't
best
know.
win is USC.
I think that not the
See, listen. In your scenario, you had Georgia Tech losing the ACC championship. So you in that scenario that you laid out, who did you have winning the ACC?
Well, we've already said that Miami can't get in, right, to the ACC championship. So that means it's either Virginia or Louisville, and we're saying the better of those 2 teams is Louisville, with a win over Miami already, playing an undefeated or a 1-loss Georgia Tech for the championship of the ACC.
Okay,
Yeah.
if that exact scenario happens, they will get 3 teams in. However, I don't think that's the only parameter in which they get 3, is in that exact scenario. But that exact scenario happening is more unlikely to not
I think
happen.
if Georgia Tech is
more
the
likely
champion
to
of that
not happen than
ACC,
for it to happen.
it's just
I
them in
think.
Miami.
Okay. Well, guys, there's still plenty of football to go. You play 12 games. We've already played 8. There's four more games to go for every team, plus a championship. So,
Agreed, yeah.
will you guys
They
agree
are not in.
that right now Notre Dame is not in?
The season ended today.
Right now, they're not in.
I think so.
Okay, projecting
but I
out
think that
Notre Dame
they
at 10-2.
I think
Are
that they are
in or out?
Yeah, I think that they're in.
Are they? No, you think so? What? You think a 10-2
I
Notre
don't know.
Dame
Not
team
if it's against
gets
Georgia,
in
but
over, let's just say, a
it's not
10-2
even what I think
Georgia?
should happen. Yeah, I think they'd be in over both of those.
What if it's a
Because you have to look at the names.
or
The
10-2 Vandy?
ESPN and the committee want Notre Dame. No, this is not what I think should happen.
Dan,
But I'm just predicting
okay, I
the
need you to
college
be an
football playoff
analyst
wants
now,
a team
not
like
a
Notre Dame in there
fan.
to get more eyeballs and to get more money. I think that I the
Okay, you don't think Vanderbilt at 10-2 or 11-1 wouldn't draw eyes because of the what do you call it, Schadenfreude, right? You want to see somebody else's pain.
they might, but I think they
right?
want the storylines of Notre Dame
The
coming
darling
back
of football
from
right
0-2
now.
start. And I think the fact that Notre Dame lost their first 2 games, that helps them a little more than if they had lost in the middle of the season or the end of the season. They could show that they've improved over the year. But I don't know. I don't trust the committee enough to overlook a team like Notre Dame, even if Notre Dame may not be as deserving.
There was a movie called Rudy, and they said to this guy Rudy who went to Notre Dame, "You're 5 feet nothing. You weigh 140 nothing. You can't start here, son." Notre Dame is 10-2, and they haven't beaten anybody. But let's just say that they beat Navy. Oh, you beat a military academy, and you beat a Big Ten. Oh, air fingers, Big Ten, USC. That's your signature win. Yeah. Okay. I believe you, Dan. You're a fan. Dan's his screen looks like it's frozen right now. He can't say anything.
It's gotta, man. It actually comes down a lot to what happens in the ACC. Actually, now the more that we've had this conversation, the more I realized how important the ACC race is.
No, Dan's back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I see 4 screens with Dan.
Yeah, I see 4
So
screens as
refresh
well. I
me.
think he probably try to log in his phone or something.
Yeah. He's coming back.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
There he is. So we just agreed that everybody just agreed, Dan, while you weren't here, Notre Dame's not in.
We didn't say that. We didn't say that. We didn't say. We didn't say. But what we actually said was, like, we realized how important the ACC race is and the Big 12. But I think the Big 10 is pretty cut and clear. I think the SEC could be pretty cut and clear, and then they just complete chaos in ACC Big 12. So,
all right, what? And so group of 6. So what you got in the group of 6? You got
Memphis. You've got Navy.
Yeah. USF is not dead.
Tulane,
but
still
they're on life
alive.
support. Since Dan's going to be a doctor, they're on life
Tulane
support.
Did we
Memphis.
say North Texas also?
Tulane.
How many losses does Tulane have?
And Navy.
No,
Navy's undefeated. Oh yeah, North Texas should be in there.
But they had lost 2 games already.
I think so.
Just the one.
Boise's out because of the loss to USF. Oh yeah, North
Yeah,
Texas.
USF.
No, yeah,
I can see your North Texas, Dan.
But let's see, James
Okay.
Madison
But didn't
also
they?
only
Who did they lose to? They lost to. Was it USF?
They lost to USF, I thought.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me. I'm looking at James Madison. James Madison's only losses to Louisville.
There's a chance for San Diego State to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Cities. Yeah, they're 6-1.
So JMU still alive too.
So okay, for the group of 5, we can agree that a 2-loss group of 5 team is probably not getting in. I feel like for the group of 5, it's got to be undefeated or 1 loss.
No, they're getting in. The rules are the 5 conferences, and they look at it like this: you got the 4 plus a group of 5, so that's 5 teams right there.
Right. Yeah, I'm saying, but like only one group of 5 team gets in.
Right.
Which
Well,
is
I
why
don't
I'm
think
saying
there's going to be more than one.
Yeah, there's not. That's what I'm saying. A 2-loss group of 5 team, in my opinion, is out already, which means they'll only take
out already. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so they'll only take a 1-loss or an undefeated. So that means by that rule, I think USF is out.
Wins the American?
I think any
and then
2-loss team, group of 5 teams.
I think it has to be a group of 5
means I don't think
champion
USF
also.
is going to
I
get
don't think they're
group of
gonna
5 representative.
like.
right
What
now.
if USF wins the American
All right,
right now,
conference championship,
arrows it down.
and then JMU also wins their
So-
own? I think that they could pick USF over JMU based on their schedule. I think so.
Yeah, and I think the American is viewed as being higher than the Sun Belt, correct? Yeah.
Well, then at
So
that point, they'll probably go with the SDSU or like a Boise.
The Mountain
no, not a
West?
Boise. Yeah,
Huh?
like you
I
said,
think-
SDSU is still sitting there, just a 1-loss. They'd
Right.
probably take if the American champion has 2 losses, they would probably go with the Mountain West champion, which is just. I know, like the American is seen as the 1A.
I mean, Navy.
I think Mountain West is clear number 2.
They have they like
So they'd probably
as far
take
as
the
group of
champion of the
5s
Mountain West.
goes. Their
they did last
schedule is
year.
like a gauntlet coming up. They have North Texas, then Notre Dame,
We'll see. That's going to
then
be
USF, then Memphis, then Army for the Army Navy game. Navy. Oh,
Oh my
who had
God.
that schedule?
Oh my God, Navy.
Oh,
Yeah, they not rushing
okay,
that.
Navy's out.
Yeah, Navy's out. Which means right now we gotta look at Memphis. Memphis is probably gonna be Memphis.
It's probably going to Memphis. All right, so let's take it. You know, we're going a little long because we've been arguing on every point. Let's talk about our top 12, right? So if you look at our top 12, we're looking at it internally, but it's going to be posted. We've got number 1 Ohio State in, right? The leader of the pack for the brackets right now. We would then have our number 3 team is Texas A&M as the SEC champion. We then have Georgia Tech, who's our number 7 team, as the ACC champion. And right now we have BYU as the Big 12 champion, number 9 for us. And we have Memphis in. Memphis is listed as our, because we went to the top 12, but it has to reflect the brackets. So we have Memphis in. So Ohio State Big 10, Texas A&M SEC, Georgia Tech ACC, BYU Big 12, and Memphis for the current group of 6. So our rankings are Memphis 12, Texas Tech 11, Why don't you read it on more, because I always read it. So
All right, so we got number 12, Memphis. Number 11, we got Texas Tech. Number 10, we've got the for some reason, Miss Rebels. We've got number 9, we've got undefeated BYU. Number 8, we've got one loss Miami. At 7, we've got undefeated Georgia Tech. At 6, we've got one loss Georgia. At 5, we've got one loss Oregon. At 4, we have one loss Alabama. At 3, we have undefeated Texas A&M. At 2, we have undefeated Indiana. And at number 1, as has been basically since week 2, we have undefeated Ohio State.
okay. So that's how we see the brackets right now. I want to look at, because there's a team that's not in here, and I just wanted to see if they got any votes at all for our top 12. I'm looking at the actual.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I didn't
Dan,
vote for him, obviously.
the team that you've been fighting for,
I think if the season
Notre Dame, got
I think
no
if the
votes
season
to
ended
be in our
today,
top
then yeah,
12.
they shouldn't be in, and they won't be in. But we still have 4 more games left.
Whoa! Oh, I'm blown away now. Okay. But your best team so far, your best. I want to go back to your best win is SC. Their next best
I think-
chance is who we said is Navy. And then
Well, I think the teams
Onward
ahead
just
of them
read
are going to
Navy's
keep on
schedule.
losing.
We all
Like,
did
there are
this.
teams that we listed that
he
slapped
read
them
may not
upside
end up
the head
in the at
because
the end of the season.
They're not going undefeated.
Yeah.
Like, they may play themselves out. Like, I don't know if BYU and Texas Tech make it in, or with the ACC, like we keep on talking about.
Right.
I think either the ACC or the Big 12
Also-
are one of those two conferences is only going to have one representative.
So
Also,
in that
Oregon,
case, then
another brief talking point, but if you look at the rest of Oregon's schedule, they've got Iowa, Minnesota, USC, and at Washington to end the year. That's not or like I'm not saying it'll happen, but there's 2-loss possibility at the end of Oregon's schedule.
good point. Good point.
Yep.
Somebody pull up. We're all agreeing that Alabama and Texas A&M are in. So can somebody pull
Georgia.
up Georgia's schedule, Ole Miss's schedule, and Vandy's schedule?
All right, I'll
so-
do Ole Miss. You guys do another team. I'll do Ole Miss.
I'm ready with Georgia.
You'll do
Yeah,
Georgia.
then-
Okay,
yeah,
I'll
you
pull
got
up Vandy's.
So Georgia has up next. They have Florida, Mississippi State,
This is
Texas,
technology
Charlotte, and Georgia
at its
Tech.
best. Let's see.
Crazy way to
Schedule
end the
of games.
schedule.
Okay, here we go.
Charlotte in there. But
Yeah, we're showing. So Ole Miss is going undefeated. They've got South Carolina, Citadel, Florida, and Mississippi State.
All right. So when I was pulling up schedules, there we go. Vandy looks like they got a pretty tough schedule. So I'm trying to get to the ACC. I mean SEC. Sorry. Do one of you guys have it real quick?
You want me to pull up Vandy's? I got it.
Yeah,
All right, give me a second.
because I'm using Yahoo Sports, and it's not. I can do it on my computer faster than I can on my phone.
Okay, so Vandy to end out the season, they've got Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, and Tennessee.
I can see 2 losses out of that schedule right there. I can see Texas beating them, and I can see Tennessee just saying we cannot have Vandy beating us this year.
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, I could see 2 losses. I think they'll have one. I think they beat Texas, but I could see them losing to Texas. So
Yeah.
I could see 2
we
losses.
haven't really knocked out.
So the teams that we looked at, who did we knock anybody out? We knocked out Vandy. So
Yeah.
it's going to be
Out of those
interesting.
teams, I think Vandy's got the best chance. I will say to the viewers, though, like I said earlier, keep an eye out on that tough Oregon schedule at the end of the year. Like, if say Oregon does lose 2 games, does the Big Ten only get 2 teams in? That's a
No, the Big
possibility.
Ten will get 3 teams in.
No matter what. Okay.
Yep.
I'll go out on market on October 20. Let's see, this is going to air on, is that the 30th? We air on at 10
I think if
a.m.
Oregon
Thursday,
collapses, then
October
they'll put in
30th.
Michigan
Mark
or
it.
USC or somebody else.
The Big Ten gets 3 teams in.
Yep.
Put a pin in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will probably, yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, just
Yeah.
think, Dan, if that happens and USC gets in, Notre Dame gets brought back into the
I don't
fold.
know. I can't see
They get
one
brought
of
back
Georgia.
into the
I
fold.
wish, but I can't see
And if
Georgia
Notre
or Ole
Dame gets
Miss,
brought back into
both
the
of them
fold,
not making it,
SEC only gets 3.
or one of them. I can't see. I can't see. Yeah, I think they're both in their schedule.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, right now, actually, I would say right now, I was looking at Vandy is the one that's kind of out. So I would say, yeah,
Who did the
I would
Ole
say,
Miss schedule? Who did that? Was
I
that
did.
you?
Yeah, it was me. They had like
Okay.
the Citadel, Florida, Mississippi
No, never mind. So I
State,
was looking at the
and
wrong one.
somebody else.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, but
we
Ole
went circuit. Huh?
Miss is going undefeated for the rest of the season.
Guys, it's been another good week. Good discussion. We thought it was only going to be a half an hour, but it got a little long.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Tuesday, November the 4th, I think is when they do the first release of the
You guys keep going
playoffs.
without me, but I
We
probably
didn't even
gotta
get
go
the
in a little
chance to
bit.
talk about the fired coaches, Brian Kelly. You guys want to spend a few minutes on that? We got time, or we want to let this go?
Well,
Anwar, where
let's do a little special at some point. Then we can do a quick reaction or something like that for the coaching stuff sometime this week.
Okay. All right, guys.
Yeah.
So I just want to remind our viewers, anybody watching us, if you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. For Dan, Anwar, I'm Luke. We're out. As they like to say, deuces.
Peace.